What's up, everyone? If you live in the Lower Saucon Hellertown area, or you're interested in moving the area and you want to know what the parks are like, stick around. Today we're going to be looking at Southeastern Park, and you'll get a chance to see what it feels like to be in the park and my overall rating for what I think of the park. So let's go check it out. Welcome, everyone, and if you're watching this video, like I said, we are at Southeastern Park in Lower Saucon Township, and one of the things that I didn't really think about, me and my wife, when we moved into the area is what the parks were like. And honestly, I wish we had thought about it realistically. We didn't have kids at the time. Now we have three. We have three boys, and if you have kids, um, and if you don't have kids, you're going to learn that you need things for them to do, right? During the summertime when they're out of school, or even when they're little, it's just nice to get out of the house and go do things. Especially in this area, you're not necessarily close to the trails, especially this park is not that close to the trails. You'd have to drive there. It's just nice to have something close by, and Lower Saucon Township and Hellertown do a great job of keeping a lot of parks just around the area scattered, so that people in different parts could go visit them with their kids. And I like to kind of score these parks, and I'm going to score all of them with 5 different things, and we're going to go through the amenities that each of them have, the upkeep and cleanliness, safety, the convenience of them, and just the overall fun factor is what I'm going to call them, based on basically, would my kids have fun if they came here? Because if they're not going to have fun, there's no point in coming here. But those are the things that we're going to go through, and the first thing I wanted to go through at Southeastern Park is the amenities. And I'm just going to start off by saying the amenities here, I'm going to give a 5. And when I score these things, I'm just scoring them in comparison with all of the other Hellertown, Lower Saucon Township parks. It doesn't necessarily mean anything as far as any of the other parks in Bethlehem or Allentown or Eastern or anything like that. But that's just compared to the parks in this general area. The amenities here, I'm going to say, are 5, just kind of right in the middle. And honestly, it would be lower if it weren't for the fact that they have working restrooms right here, and they're fairly updated, and it's just nice to have that. Some of the other parks do not have that, and it's just nice to have running water. It's not a porta potty basically. And I'm just going to do a quick walkthrough so you can kind of see what it's like, kind of see how they keep it upkeep here. You bring your kids in here, obviously you're going to want it to be clean and orderly, and it is. It's painted, it's fairly clean. It is open up at the top of the roof there, so I'm sure they get birds in here and stuff, but overall pretty good. One thing to note though is that they are only open spring, summer, and close them off in the fall. So if you do come here when it's cold in the wintertime or early spring, it's probably not going to be open until May. But that's one of the best amenities that this park has. Other than that, it has pretty much the same things that most of the other parks have. So if it weren't for those bathrooms, I'd probably score it at maybe a 2. But they have some horseshoe pits. They have the baseball diamond there. Just one baseball field. This is on about 10.9 acres. They have their jungle gym over there. They got their swing sets. They got the pavilion. So basically all the essentials that you'd really need. They have charcoal pits, if you want to come out and grill. One thing to note is they do say they have horseshoe pits, but I have yet to find them. They say they're here, but I haven't found them, so they're not very convenient if they are here. But that is the amenities part of this video, and we're going to move on. Okay, so now we're going to go through the upkeep and cleanliness of the park here. And I'm going to say that this is a 3, right? So, and I don't want to give it such a low score because I think it's dirty here, because it's not. It's really nice and clean. But one of the things I noticed is like the tables. They're the wooden tables. They're old. They're splintery. I would hate my kids just sliding along this because they're gonna get splinters. It would really irritate me. So they need to update the tables for sure. Again, bathrooms very clean. You saw the inside; they're very clean. A couple of the other things that I had noticed is that a lot of the the stones and everything are kind of they're coming out of where they're supposed to be. Basically, they're supposed to just remain in here, but I'm sure kids kick them out. But what's crazy is a lot of the other parks, they are all put back in place. I don't know how they do it, but somehow they get all this stuff back in place. Somebody does it. But even here, you can see all the rubber pieces out of the jungle gym, which is a great idea, first of all. But they're coming out of the contained area here. It's just a little thing, but it isn't as well upkept as the other some of the other parks. A couple other things to note, could probably use a power washing. Obviously, kids are going in and out of here. You want it clean, but it's overall in good shape. But I would definitely give it a 3 compared to the other parks. So let's move on to our next one. All right, guys. So now we're going to talk about the safety aspect of Southeastern Park. And for this, I'm going to give Southeastern a 2. Again, not that I think this is an unsafe park. I would definitely bring my kids here. I have no issues with that, but just in comparison to the other parks, and I'll tell you exactly why. One of the main reasons is all these trees, which is nice. It's very nice. You get a lot of shade. I wouldn't be worried about getting kids, you get a nice shady spot. But if you were standing here with me right now, you would be hearing a lot of things falling from the trees. It's a little breezy today, so there's things falling from the trees all the time, and I see a lot of dead branches, right? And that would really concern me as a parent, to be honest with you. I have some trees at my house that concern me as well, because I see the dead branches, and I don't want them falling on my kids. And realistically, that's something that could happen here. And we're not far away from this playground area, right? I mean, we're only a couple feet, so there's tables underneath these trees. Again, a little bit of paranoia here as a parent, but I'm just saying it has happened before, and it could definitely happen. So something that I think about. I mentioned the tables under the pavilion they need to be redone. They're splintery. My kids would be getting splinters. I know they'd be getting splinters on them. I know for a fact, because I tested it myself. You'd be getting splinters on it. Some of the other things that they're kind of the same at all the other parks as well, and there's nothing you can really do about them, to be honest with you. But this is a drop-off point. If you have toddlers that are coming, and I have 3 kids under 3 basically, and when we bring them to the parks, that's one thing that we're trying to run around, keep them from falling off of these. It's a little bit better at this park than some of the other parks we go to. It's not as high. This jungle gym set, it's not that high. I mean, I'm 5'6", so I mean, I'm not very tall, and I can see to the top there. But overall, the park's safe. Definitely a safe place to be. But I would give it a 2 for sure. The last thing I want to point out, though, and this is true for most of the parks, is I've parked way over there. Yeah, you can't even see it really, but the parking lot is very far away, which is great. I love that. That's the best part about this. And the last thing I'm going to say is, I know for a fact, because I've actually done some showings of a house right beyond this fence, and we're talking about 20 feet away from this fence back there, and then there's a residential property, right? So I don't know who lives there. I mean, I personally know that no one lives there right now, but if I was bringing my kids here, I don't know who lives there, right? I mean, it's not really safe for me. That's something that I would consider when coming to this park. But again, it's a safe park, but I would give it a 2 compared to the other. Okay, so now we're going to talk about how convenient is this park. And what I mean by convenient is, it could be fun, it could be safe, it could be great. If it's way out of the way, I'm never going to come here. And to be honest with you, that's kind of where this park falls into place. Unless you live, within 5 minutes, you could probably go to another park and, and be just as happy, if not happier, because it's out of the way. It really is. Probably if you're coming from the center of Hellertown, or even if you're coming to the opposite side, you're looking at a 10-15 minute drive just to get to the park. You could go to many other places at that point rather than come to this park. So not super convenient. But other than that, I mean, really, everything you need is here. Obviously, you're going to the park, you're going to bring snacks, you're going to bring some. What is nice is they have the running water in the bathroom. Again, that's probably the number one thing about this park is it has that bathroom, but it's only open for, probably 4 months out of the year. So convenience, a 2. All right, so now I want to talk about the fun factor of this park. So basically, I got 3 boys. So if I were to bring 3 of my boys here, would they have fun? Bottom line is yes, they'd have a good time. But realistically, I'm going to give, the fun factor here a 4. They have, the way I would like to describe this park is it has all the essentials that you would need and a bathroom. That's convenient. But realistically, you have your jungle gym, you have a baseball diamond, you can run around a bit. It's a smaller park of one of the parks. My kids like to run, so I like to have like a huge open space for them to run, and they could do it here, but after 2 times they'd be done, and they'd probably spend more time, to be honest with you, jumping on these tables. And again, I don't like these tables, so not my first choice for sure. But the swing, the slide. You have the basics for sure. Just not my overall top pick for sure. But again, that's what I think of Southeastern Park. It is a great park. If you live around the area, bring your kids here. It has a lot of great stuff. But again, if you had your choice of a different park, you might want to consider it. But I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it helps you in anything that you're deciding with your move to Saucon Valley. If you're looking to move here in the next 9 or 90 days, or if you have any other questions about Saucon, feel free to reach out. All my information is in the description below, and I'd be happy to help you with anything else as well. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the neighborhood.